Welcome to my recap for April 2025. So I've broken this down pretty much into four areas. So if you do follow any of my videos, you will get these results also in the videos. I do think that people who are putting tips online really should be putting up how they're performing so that people at least know whether they're worth following or not. And you don't see many people doing that. So it is one thing that I will ensure that I do. I do put each day how the horse racing tips have done previously, and I do talk about any tips in the previous week from NRL and AFL. The one thing which is on here that is not given out on any videos is my private tips only that I do for myself. These are all automated selections, and last month they did not go well, down pretty much almost $1,400. But let's have a look at those which are public because I think that's what most people here would be more interested in. So for April, I have only included selections which were placed that were put up before races, put up before games, etc. So you'll see there with the AFL, although I started to put tips up, and I do have how those tips would have gone in April. We didn't bet them, so I put that as zero. But from May, we had one bet on the weekend, and that was a win. So um, May will start to put in those results in this summary. So let's have a look. Horse racing, we made a $3,156 profit following all of the tips. That includes any adjustments which were made to downgrade, and I'll show those in one of the methods where I'd recorded incorrectly, so it has the right results in there. NRL, we've had one tip, it won. It was $1.22. You have to bet big in sports, unfortunately. So I will record the NRL and AFL tips at $1,000 bets. It made a $220 profit. And as I said, AFL break even, and my private tips were showing a loss. Okay, so here is the chart for the horse racing because there's so many different methods which are in there. And you can see we basically, out of the 9 methods which are there, I think it's 8 methods which are there. I now have 9, but one of them didn't start until May. So out of the 8 methods which were there, 3 were pretty much in negative territory. So if we have a look at them one by one, starting with the red line at the bottom, the starred selections. So they had a major hit during the month. I think it took $250, $300, or no, a $500 hit. So it was a 500 plus horse that came in. That will take some time to recover, but it can get back into the profit. That's what you'll see with these 2 lines here, the dark 61 and the 2 stars. They are going to trend pretty much up and then take this big hit down, and then they'll trend back up and take some hits. So there'll be some months where they are negative, and then they'll have that good run that goes for a month or 2 without a hit and make the profit that you're looking for. Okay, the less than tab in yellows, that's been trending down a little bit. If that continues to trend down, I'll probably just drop that one out with the less than tab off the lay sheet. I thought it would come good. The premise is right. It probably needs a little bit of investigation, and there's probably some odds ranges or a certain percentage below that price that we should be looking at using. Less than tab with off the back sheet. So this is the dark green. Now this is the one where I had the issues in there, and I was also staking it slightly differently. So when I was staking it here, where it was absolutely taking off, I was risking way too much, and was not using the staking plan I like to use for lays. So I stopped that, went back to what it should be. I expect it to be a lot smaller and just move kind of like these ones, which it did. And then I found that it wasn't matching my actual bets due to incorrectly recording scratchings only on the spreadsheet. So I fixed up the scratchings. It basically took it down to here. So this is where it would have been, because part of this would have been due to scratchings as well. So we're kind of sitting, we're sitting in there 600, 700 kind of profit for that one. That one will generally sit down here in the future. Now the stars and below off the back sheet. So this is where we think they've been overbet. It didn't really start until about the 14th in recording. It hasn't done much. It went up a little bit, but pretty much gone sideways. It will be one that I will monitor. Our star of the month, the higher than tab, it pretty much took off for a good 20 days or 15, 20 days, and then it's trended sideways. So this has been a bit annoying. We've had so many seconds in the last week and a half, that's just kept the back profit either steady or slightly down. So hopefully that can get its nice run again next month, and it's doing quite well. The theory means we are getting some value. I put in another method this month where we've kind of picked out the best of those, where we're only looking at at least a 15% edge, and we'll see how they compare next month. Looking at the 2x tab, it kind of just hovers around, so it gets up a little bit and then hovers around. It loses most days and then gets a win, so not surprising. I expect that will just create a small profit each month. There's not many selections, hence it can't move around too much, but it should pull a profit. And the stars and above, which are selections that have been, I think, are in form on the back sheet. They've been tipped by the ratings to back, the class ratings, and I expect that they should do well. They kind of took off. They've had a bit of a negative run in the last few days of the month, but the premise again is good. They're informed horses with good ratings, and we have a price that is higher than what it should be. So hopefully that can have a good May, but it was still up there. So all up, five of these approaches are in profit. Three were a loss for April, but overall we made about $3,000, which is pretty good. That's it for this month. Just wrapping it up. And I am going to post this so at least everyone knows how this goes. If you've got questions on how I've recorded it, you can ask in the comments. But all of the horse racing selections are recorded at Betfair starting price. Those prices are available to everyone. If everyone did pile onto these selections, it would affect those prices. Those prices would drop. This would become negative, but I don't expect that we'll have thousands of people putting money on it. So it should be good. If that did happen, I would then just not post the videos anymore, obviously, and back them myself. But this is out there so others can see it, what I'm testing, see if they want to follow and make a little bit of money themselves. The NRL and the AFL tips are taken on Betfair on the day that I put up the video. Unfortunately for those, I can't guarantee the price that everyone is going to get. all I can do is put those selections on and see what odds I'm able to get. Now you can try to get those odds with bookmakers. Generally, I'm looking for those odds on Betfair where I can get matched, just because they are better odds. But sometimes the bookmakers are where you can get matched for a better price. But generally, in most sports and definitely in racing, I'm looking at Betfair because those odds are significantly higher than what most people get elsewhere. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. This is the monthly wrap up. I will try to do one each month, but if you want to follow the daily results, they're in all the videos. Okay, thanks everyone. Put in any comments if you've got any questions. Like if you want to get the tips each day, please subscribe. All that fun stuff for YouTube. But thanks for watching.